Well, just a few years ago, our legislature enacted tort reform that limited non-economic damages to $750,000. Well, a judge here in Tennessee has now ruled that that law is unconstitutional. Attorney Jim Higgins with the Higgins Firm recently stopped by to explain this ruling, including what will likely happen. Take a look. And we've got Jim back with us today. Jim, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Are we talking a little bit about tort reform today? So first, let's talk about, is it valid anymore?
Right. So maybe. In 2011, Governor Haslam and the legislature really had a push, and they passed what they call tort reform. But basically what that means for everybody is if you're in an accident, no matter how tragic the injuries are, that your pain and suffering or your child's pain and suffering, whatever, is capped in Tennessee at $750,000. No matter what a jury says, that was the most you can get. And what has happened is there's been some little challenges, but nobody's really taken it up. And finally, somebody in Chattanooga challenged it, a lady that had some really horrific injuries and didn't think that 750 cap was fair and wanted a jury to decide it. And the judge has agreed with her and said that that's not valid under our Constitution. And it's a 24-page opinion that probably nobody would want to read, but it's really interesting. And this judge did a great job, whether you believe him or agree with him or not, and goes back to England and why a jury is so important to us and is part of our Constitution. And basically what he says is that our forefathers have said that a jury is a right that can't be tampered with. And he says that what you're doing when you have this cap is you're telling a jury that, hey, the legislature doesn't trust you to make a decision. That us, the government, is going to say that you can't ever award any more than this, no matter what type of horrific facts or circumstances you're dealing with. And this judge says our Constitution doesn't say that. That we are entitled to have a jury trial in front of our peers, and they're taking that right away, and the government's making the decision.
It really is interesting. So in this specific case in Chattanooga, what do you think is going to happen? How is it going to proceed?
Well, what happens when any time like this thing, a ruling comes down, is it's going to go to the Court of Appeals, then it will go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's either going to say yes or no, and it's about half and half with states that have done similar things to this. Some of them say, hey, this is a violation of our right to a jury, and some of them said that it's not. So it could really fall either way.
Okay. And in your office, what kind of impact have you seen from tort reform over the years? Is there a lot of impact?
You know, most of our car accidents and things like that, occasionally it will limit it, but not usually. Where we have had the biggest impact from this is, of course, our office deals with a lot of nursing home neglect cases. Right. I mean, that's one of the biggest parts of our practice. We do it all over the state. And in those cases, there are a lot of tragic facts, but an elderly person or a resident nursing home doesn't have a lot of economic value. And so we have to tell our clients that your case is capped at $750 no matter what. And that's a really hard thing.
I can't imagine. All right. Well, thanks for being here. A lot of great information.
Thank you.
The Higgins Firm is serving Tennessee. Give them a call at 1-800-705-2121 or check out thehigginsfirm.com.